All right, what is going on, everybody? We are back for the Lightforce podcast, episode number 8. I am Noah. This is Laney, as always. How we doing today?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantastic Four is out on digital.
And so is Superman.
Yeah, Superman's on. It's on digital and it's on HBO Max. This is non-sponsored. It's just a big update for us because we enjoy both movies.
Yeah.
But and then Fantastic Four is out on digital, but it's $30 on Amazon Prime, and I was like, I am not
Who's
paying
paying $30 for that,
$30
dude?
for that dang movie, no matter how much I liked it.
Disney
We're gonna
Plus
wait
is
till it
already...
comes out.
Disney Plus is up in their price. Like, I just saw that yesterday.
Yep.
It's almost $30. I'll just wait till it comes on there.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I guess I'll just wait until it comes out on Disney Plus. But I'm doing great today. I am packing because we're going on a little road trip. When I say we, I mean me and Parker. We're going on a little road trip. Have you had your caffeine today?
Yeah, I honestly wish I had another one. I was right next to Starbucks like an hour and a half ago.
It's
And
never enough.
I
It's
should have
never
got
enough.
a nice little pumpkin spice cold brew. But I was like, I don't need it. I don't need it right now. But I'm good enough. After this, I'm gonna need my midday coffee.
Okay.
After this,
Okay.
so I'm gonna
All right. That's
extend
fair.
so much energy here, usually, and then I'm gonna be like, I need
It
a
takes so
refresh
much
before
out
I
of you.
edit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna need. But I mean, I'm doing pretty good today. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Star Wars had a pretty notable week. The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped, as well as the poster. So we'll talk about it briefly. And just talk about some of our favorite stuff in the trailer, and then most notably, we'll get into shortly here, the Avengers Doomsday. I don't want to call it a cast leak because they already like everybody in this picture, and I might actually like edit for once and put like the picture on the screen while we're talking about it. I don't know, we'll see.
We'll
But
see.
everybody who's in this like leaked picture was already announced in like the chair, so it wasn't necessarily a cast leak, but this picture dropped and it showed us pretty much everybody's costumes for
Right. It's
the
more like
movie.
a first look as
First
to like
look,
what
yeah.
all of these characters are going to look like in the movie. So
Yeah.
I believe that Avengers Doomsday has officially wrapped its first stage of filming. As far as reshoots, I don't know about all that, but it's officially wrapped at least its first initial shooting. So
Yeah.
it's wrapped in a way. Obviously, that is the extent of our knowledge, but as far as we know, the cast and crew that worked on the film were given a bunch of different pieces of merchandise that are exclusive to them, which is very kind. And
Hmm.
so it looks like one of the things that I think it might have been a makeup artist or someone on the crew received was what looks like a tote bag
Yeah.
with a whole picture, like embroidered picture of the main cast of heroes that we're going to see in Avengers Doomsday. And there are some very notable characters on there, just like the different looks for some of these characters.
That we
The
knew
one
were
that
coming, but specifically the looks are like,
Right.
ah.
Yes, exactly. And the one that stood out initially, the one that stood out to me the most was James Marsden's Cyclops. When Noah edits this or when I clip it out or whatever, we'll put pictures on here so you guys can see.
Yeah.
But James Marsden is returning. He was the original Cyclops in the original X-Men movies for Fox. And in this little embroidered picture that we have of him, he's wearing his comic accurate Cyclops uniform, the blue and gold with the strap going down, with his actual visor wrapping around.
Yeah.
And it's literally, if you guys have seen X-Men 97, it's exactly that. It's that costume, which is such a big deal for me
Yeah.
and for Noah as
which-
X-Men fans. It's a huge deal. And
Yeah, it's
especially, I'm
exactly what we need.
especially excited to see James Marsden take on that comic accurate look because he is a great Cyclops. I think he was given a very poor script and not a lot to work with, but I love him as Cyclops, so I'm so glad. It's kind of the same thing as Gambit, as Channing Tatum as Gambit. I'm glad they're getting another opportunity to revisit these characters and have them be taken care of more carefully by the directors and writers so that they can have more of an opportunity to really embody and show off everything that they can do with these characters because they're great castings. They just needed the writing to back it up. So it's a big deal for James
Yeah,
Marsden.
this is a big deal. I think a lot of people were talking about and sharing this picture this week. And she already mentioned a couple of the costumes that are like really sticking out. There was a couple that were covered, but you can clearly piece together who they at least are. So we'll break that down a little bit when we get into it in a few minutes. But before we get into anything else, guys, be sure to go follow us across all social medias. The Lightforce Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can also listen on Apple and Spotify, and vice versa. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, jump over here on YouTube, watch the video, drop a like, hit subscribe. It should definitely help us grow on all platforms, and you guys have been helping us grow on all platforms, so appreciate everybody who's been supporting the podcast thus far. Whether you're from our individual communities or you found us through the podcast or whatever it may be, just a big thank you to all you guys thus far.
Absolutely. I'm sorry for yapping already. I got really excited.
No, it's a little cold open. It's a little cold open,
I kind of like
as
jumped over our whole intro and started talking immediately. But we have a lot of things to talk about. We have a good amount of things to talk about. It was a
little cold open, as they say in the old wrestling industry. You know what I mean? But we'll just get into some of the Marvel stuff. Like you said, I'll save the Avengers Doomsday talks that will kind of lead into the cast stuff that we were already talking about. Mm-hmm. Quick thing on Tom Holland. We could talk about that this week, or right now that happened this week. Tom Holland, I guess, suffered some kind of head injury. I don't know if he cracked his skull open or what happened on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day, but he was brought to the hospital. People were saying he had a concussion, but then everybody was saying he was okay, and I think they're already back to filming. There was new set photos today. I don't know if it was Tom Holland in the suit or what, but I guess whatever happened wasn't that serious, because they were already like, we're just going to take a week off and then get back to filming. So I guess it wasn't that bad. Good for Tom Holland.
You know, I hadn't seen anything from today, and I hadn't seen any of the reports saying that it actually wasn't, thankfully, that serious. Obviously, concussion is always pretty serious, so the extent of what we had seen from multiple reports were that he was being treated for concussion, him and a stunt double or two. I read that it was not just him, but a couple people on the stunt crew as well, which is obviously the last thing that you want to happen to these actors on set. Tom Holland notably does a lot of his own stunts, which is part of another huge reason why he's such an incredible Spider-Man, because he is so capable of truly embodying all of the abilities that Spider-Man really can do. Tom is able to do a lot of those things, but I hadn't seen that it was actually not that serious. I was actually going to bring this up because I saw the other day, or it might have been yesterday, Jon Bernthal canceled his appearance at New York Comic Con. Yeah. And that made me believe that it might have been because they had this setback because of Tom's injury. They had this setback in filming. It got pushed back, that maybe now Jon Bernthal is not able to make that appearance at New York Comic Con because they had this setback in filming. That was the only thing. It literally, because it happened back to back. Tom got hurt. Jon Bernthal cancels his New York Comic Con appearance. So,
I mean, it's definitely, the domino effect could have easily been that. If Tom Holland wasn't able to film for whatever it was, a couple days, a week, then everything else gets delayed, right? And New York Comic Con's usually pretty early in October, I think, or either way, it's in October, so right around the corner. You delay filming 1 week, that pushes back everything. Yep. So, I mean, it could easily have been that. But definitely, I think, even if it wasn't, Jon Bernthal clearly is like, hey, guys, you know, they want me in the MCU, so I can't be coming to the old Javits Center in New York City. Sorry.
I love him. I love him so much. I feel bad for everyone that was looking forward to meeting him, because he is so much fun to meet. He's an incredible guy. But you know who they announced in the wake of him canceling? They announced Norman Reedus, which, if you don't know, Noah, Norman Reedus is Norman Reedus is Daryl on The Walking Dead. The most popular character in The Walking Dead is Norman Reedus' Daryl Dixon, and he's going to New York Comic Con, which is going to be very exciting for a lot of people. Most recently, Norman Reedus voiced Ghost Rider in the new Marvel Zombies, or I don't know if it was Marvel Zombies, it might have been like the first season, or maybe it's the second season, but he just voiced Ghost Rider in something recent, because I remember Grayson and I talking about it, so that's really cool. It'll be really cool for a lot of people to be able to meet him. I would like to meet him one day. But yeah, that's just a little update on
I know who Norman Reedus is. I think my sister met him at Comic-Con in 2014. She definitely did.
So cool.
I think the year is 2014.
That's like prime Walking Dead time. That's awesome.
Exactly, dude. I remember really the line was out that ass at that convention center that day for that guy, dude. This is back when it was Wizard World Comic-Con, before they switched to Fan Expo, and it was a lot more unorganized than Fan Expo is now. But so Tom Holland, we send you our prayers, but it looks like you're all good to go, and you're back on set, slinging some webs around wherever they're filming it, fake New York City and London, or whatever they're doing over there.
I don't remember where they're filming. Is it Glasgow?
Maybe Avengers was London.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
really
It's
don't
all
remember.
overseas. It's not in the States for one reason or another. But good for
I
Tom
thought it
Holland.
was
He's
in.
back.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know anything
No,
about international cities.
something was definitely in Glasgow. I just don't know if it was they were filming Spider-Man stuff or if it was Avenger stuff just recently.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
before
I
they
think
wrapped.
Avengers stuff. Yes, Avengers stuff was like half in London and half in Atlanta. Like they're being shot in both areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in Atlanta is like in the set,
Yeah.
like on
Yeah, they're
set.
definitely not outside in Atlanta.
No, and in London it's like actual real
Yeah,
landscapes.
probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's Tom Holland, all good to go. I assume he'll be in Avengers Doomsday, barring what happens in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But I mean, he's not announced, but I'm sure that's just because Brand New Day comes out before Doomsday, and
Right.
yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers on what's going to happen in that movie. But I'm sure
In
we
the
can
same way that
expect.
they did for Thunderbolts by announcing the entire cast of Thunderbolts
and
in Doomsday.
Fantastic Four too, and
And
Fantastic Four
Fantastic
too.
Four. But it's like we knew the Fantastic Four were going to make it to come on. Like there was their first introduction. We knew they were going to make it to Doomsday, right?
Yeah.
Especially because Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain. He's the Fantastic Four villain. The Thunderbolts, in our minds going into Thunderbolts, were pretty expendable. There were a bunch of side characters that were getting their moment in this movie. And going into the movie, I would have, if I didn't see them get announced on those chairs, I would have expected to see at least one of them die
Yeah.
in the movie. But they announced the entire cast, and we are like,
I
well,
mean,
okay.
kind of
Well,
took the edge off, you know.
right. But I'm glad they all survived. Obviously, I love the Thunderbolts cast and all of their characters, but it did kind of take away a little bit of the, there's always a little bit of anticipation
Like,
and
what
anxiety
if?
going into a Marvel movie because you don't know if someone's
Yeah.
gonna make it out or not. But yeah.
Well, they made it, and they got new suits, and we're going to talk about them shortly. But, well, obviously we already saw their new suits, but they look like they're repping their new suits, which we'll talk about. But yeah, you brought up briefly Avengers Doomsday. There was a whole, like, wrap party for it. Evidently it is wrapped filming. There was, like, I was trying to look up if it was definitely had wrapped filming or what. There was like a couple conflicting reports saying, oh, it wrapped some filming, but there's going to be more. But it looks like it was most likely they wrapped filming and they'll come back for whether it's reshoots or photography, whether it's the end of the year, beginning of next year. But
because
the majority,
as far as we know, it's a very working script as well. So it's like,
hey, people have been trying to say that like it's a bad thing, but I've done enough research to know that's how the Russos operate, and have they failed us yet? I know some people are like, oh,
no.
Endgame.
Yeah, and it doesn't really bother me either, honestly, because I'm pretty sure it was the same thing for Endgame and Infinity War. So, and like you said, the Russos have yet to let us down, really. So it doesn't really bother me. Every movie has reshoots, especially a movie at this scale with a cast of this size. So I don't think it's any reason to really be worried. But the only thing I worry about is the plot itself. I do worry about the plot itself.
Well, when I hear working script, to me that's just like, hey, we know all of our bullet points throughout the storyline, but there might be a scene in between here and a scene there that we're like, you know what, this isn't hitting like we wanted to, and they're more flexible on set to be like, you know what, let's change this, let's change that. But I don't think anytime I hear a working set, or I see something online, people are like, oh, they don't even know the ending of this movie yet, or anything like that. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I think they're just a lot more flexible with, not everything. They're not coming into filming so strict, like, we need to get this exactly as we wrote it. That's, to me, what the perception I get, but I don't know.
Right. And I'm not worried because it's a working script, because, like I said, like, I feel like that's kind of how a lot of Marvel movies are. I'm just worried because of the size of the cast. And because we have it's not like we have anything leading into this film. This film is literally just itself. There's no build up, really. Plot wise, there's no build up for this movie. Obviously, there's anticipation from the fans because we've known it's been coming ever since that one San Diego Comic-Con where they decided to list out every single movie they planned on releasing through 2027.
Yeah.
But
2-3 years ago, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. And so the only reason I'm worried about it is because of the size of the cast and because we don't know anything about it. So all I can do is worry.
Like there's the people who got announced, and then there's people who haven't even been announced. And there's the obvious ones that you can be like, all right, Spider-Man, even if he has a small role, probably going to be in the movie. We've been talking a lot about Chris Evans. He's probably going to be in this movie, even if it's like an Infinity War kind of background thing. And listen, at the end of the day, I don't think every single character that has been revealed thus far is going to have some shining moment in the
Oh
movie.
no, no, like
Obviously,
not at
that's
all. I think
impossible.
majority of the X-Men are gonna have very minimal roles. Maybe just literally a cameo, like a scene or two,
Yeah.
not anything as far as full dialogue. I don't think this entire cast that we saw in those chairs is going to get an entire script of dialogue to work
Hmm.
with, but
I
at
wouldn't be
least I
surprised if
hope
we don't
not,
even
because
see
that'd
like
be
some of the X-Men till the end, and they're more involved in Secret Wars than they are this. But
right.
that at least announcing them and showing them is obviously a way to build hype for this film. That
Hmm.
Marvel kind of has a lot riding on the line. Like I don't know what the state of Marvel is if Doomsday is trash. I don't think it's gonna be trash. I really don't think it's gonna be trash. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I'm confident in it. I think it's gonna be a really good movie. But there's always like the hypothetical. That's just fun conversation of like, what if this movie
Yeah.
like kind of
It's a
sucked?
very, very scary what if.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely don't know what we would do if Doomsday isn't good. We haven't lived through a bad Avengers movie. There is no bad Avengers movie up until this point. So Doomsday has a lot riding on it,
I'll-
especially just for a lot of reasons, and
yeah.
everyone already knows this, so I really don't need to elaborate on that. But all we can do is trust in the Russos and Kevin Feige and in Robert Downey Jr. There's some big people that have done a lot of amazing things, and they've given
Yeah.
us no reason to doubt them at all.
Exactly.
So I think we can put our trust in them and just expect great things. I don't think we need to brace ourselves for the worst or
No, I don't
anything.
think so. And just like RDJ and the Russos alone, like that's and I obviously like RDJ's not directing this thing, but he's
Mhm.
obviously been around long enough. He knows Iron Man like the back of his hand, and I'm sure he's got a lot of input with what's happening in Doctor Doom too.
Mhm.
His input's gonna matter. Like those three guys alone, that's a triple-headed dragon that's gonna make sure that this movie kicks a lot of ass. So like, and then you just go down the list. Your Chris Hemsworth, your Sebastian Stan, your Pedro Pat. Like, there's a lot of big names in here, and I think we're gonna be in good hands come December of 2026.
I think so
It'll be a
too.
banger.
I think so too.
But let's get into this picture, which I will edit on screen
Yeah.
for you guys, just because it
Hold
is a lot to just remember off the top of the dome.
This is what we're looking at. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. So I just want to run through everybody that's on this row by row, and then we'll go back down and just glaze about how great these costumes are, because there's some awesome things in here, in my personal opinion. So, all right, row one, starting from the left, we got Doctor Doom, Reed Richards, Bucky Barnes. Obviously, this is where a couple of characters get covered up, but you can clearly see we have Yelena, then that seems to be Magneto, we have Beast, and we have Ghost at the end. Everyone's kind of like weirdly somewhat out of order in this, like.
Well, I think
Or
it's supposed to go top.
you
to
know what? I
bottom.
just noticed that because the Fantastic Four are like this,
Yeah.
but I already wrote it the other way, so it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
Row two, start with Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Then we have Sue Storm. We have Shuri. We have Alexa. Or I'm sorry, why did I say Alexa? Alexi, whatever his fucking name is. Charles Xavier.
The Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian. I'm trying to use people's real names here and mixing everything up. We got Charles Xavier. We got Cyclops, and we have Falcon on the end
Yep.
there. Who
Yep,
have
yep,
I
yep.
watched the project that he's in?
Yeah, you didn't watch Brand New Day, did you? Brave New World. I always do that. I
Huh?
always do that.
No,
it's
I didn't
so
watch it
irritating
yet.
that there's a Brave New World and a Brand New Day. How am I
Yeah.
supposed to get those out of each other? In my
So he's
mind?
in
I
that.
can't.
He's in the Captain America movie that came out earlier this year.
He's also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's when you see him for the first time.
All right. Well, I'm still catching up on these shows, but I'll definitely watch Brave New World.
I think his
soon
name's
enough.
Joaquin. His name's Joaquin. And yeah, he is basically Falcon. This is no
You're not
pun
going to spoil
intended.
anything for me.
No, I know, but
Okay.
no pun intended. Falcon took him under his wing when he was transitioning into the role of Captain America, and then he kind of like bestowed upon Joaquin the role of Falcon. So he's kind of like his sidekick. in a way.
I did watch like 2 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now that I'm looking at this caricature, I'm like, this guy looks familiar. So I think
You're like, wait a minute.
I gotta refresh my memory, but
I've seen this guy before.
all right. Row 3, we have Sam Wilson's Captain America. We have Ben Grimm. We have Shang-Chi. I don't know the pronunciation. I think it's M'Baka, something like that. He's from the Black Panther movies, obviously. We have Gambit. We have Nightcrawler, and we have Sentry. And then row 4, we have Ant-Man, Johnny Storm, Loki, Namor, Mystique, Johnny Walker, and on the end there, we have what looks to be Franklin Richards from the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four. Or at least a little bit aged up.
That's who that is. I was like, who's that little girl?
That's crazy, dude. You're doing them so dirty.
Oh, look at this. How am I supposed to know what the heck...
Franklin had curly blonde hair in the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just didn't even think about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, to be fair, the couple names like that I forgot on here, I made sure I looked up on Twitter like 3 times. To be like, if other people are saying these are right, then I know they're right.
Yeah.
But
as that was everybody. These, let's actually go in order this time.
That's fine. Well, it's just as easy. Then I would have been reading. Then there would have been 7 rows. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway. What are we talking about? But yeah, that's everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody on here had gotten revealed already. I don't think there was any like surprise names. I mean, maybe outside of Franklin Richards, but that was kind of a shoo-in at their Fantastic Four. Yeah. But starting the other way with the rows, Doctor Doom, I guess he would start either way. We've gotten a couple looks at Doctor Doom recently. There was that like light show at some Disney event. Maybe you didn't see it, but there was some like it was like within the last couple of weeks, and then there was a couple promotional pictures. So we kind of got a closer look at Doctor Doom's suit, and it looks badass.
This looks like a very classic Doctor Doom look, which I really, really like. I like that it's a very distinct green. I don't know what it's called when you just have some. It's a hood. Thank God I remembered that.
It's like, a hood.
It is a cape. It's a cape and a hood. And it looks really, really good, honestly. Just from this little pixelated image that we have.
Sure.
He looks like a very, very classic Doctor Doom look, which I really, really like.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. But you know what's even better than that? What's underneath of Doctor Doom, dude? Thor getting a haircut again? Dude. He should just start the movie hair already cut, pretending like his last movie didn't even happen.
Like it never happened, yeah. Dude, like, it's Infinity War Thor, you guys, it's peak. It's like they're like, okay, we understand, let's go back to peak now.
Yeah.
We're gonna get peak Thor now. And honestly, it kind of makes me worry about him dying in this movie, because Chris Hemsworth is he's like an OG, and he's like the only one that's kind of still very actively involved in these big movies. So I really
at least has to make it to Secret Wars.
I hope so.
Yeah, I won't see no big name like that dying, right? Because again, this is Doomsday. Kind of feels like you could kind of treat this movie as a beginning to what is going to happen next, not necessarily the end. I don't want to see Thor dying in the beginning. If Thor's going to die, drag it out to Secret Wars at least, because I don't want to leave this movie like, oh, the top star is dead.
My kind of theory about this bag, in like the order that they're in, is it might be order of importance. Now that does not apply to Franklin Richards all the way down at the very bottom like that. I think he's obviously going to play a very, very big role, but and also obviously they're all grouped together kind of based off their teams and everything, but that's kind of not true, because I guess I'm sorry, I'm jumping to this, because I think that obviously this first row, Doctor Doom, Thor, Captain America, and Ant-Man, they're gonna have very big roles, I think. And then obviously moving on to the next column, it's the Fantastic Four. They're gonna have very big roles in this movie. Moving on, we have Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Shang-Chi. Excuse me. Moving on, we have Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Shang-Chi, and Loki. They're going to be very significant players in this. And then it starts to get interesting, because obviously Bucky is now part of the new Avengers, right? But there are several new Avengers that you don't see until like the very back end of this bag.
Yeah.
And I feel like such a conspiracy theorist going through this. But then moving on to the next column, we have Yelena, Red Guardian, M'Baku, and Namor. We're getting moving on in importance, right? And then
Hmm.
who did you say this is above Professor X?
Everyone's been saying Magneto because somebody did
Oh,
like
that would make sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was clearly like an AI image, but somebody just made it to be like, here's what I
Mm,
think
it
this
would make sense
is,
if it
and
is
it's like
Magneto. Yeah, that
yeah,
it would
some
make
kind of
sense.
red and purple variant of his like
Okay,
costume that we
a
know and
more
love,
classic look
obviously.
at Magneto, which I would very
Sure.
much
And
enjoy.
it makes
Yeah,
sense because Charles Xavier's right underneath of him.
right,
Beast, like he's in the X Men
right.
territory,
Yep.
and we know he's going to be in the movie. So
Yes. So let's pretend it is Magneto. We got Magneto, Professor X, Gambit, and then Mystique, following with Beast, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and then John Walker, which I think is very interesting. John Walker's not near Red Guardian. He's not near Yelena,
yeah,
not with Bucky, and even not with Ghost, really. Ghost is in the last column, and then you have Falcon and then Sentry, which I think is very interesting because if my theory is correct, Sentry having a smaller role in this movie, it would be surprising to me because he is quite possibly the most powerful among a lot of them.
yeah,
So I think that would be really interesting. I think, but what's more interesting is that Sentry is in his Sentry costume. So we
yeah.
know that Bob isn't going to stay Bob throughout the entirety of Doomsday. So, so
You don't want
I
to see
think
him
it'd
do
be.
dishes for 2.5 hours,
He's not
dude?
just gonna sit around and drink his smoothie and read a book and do his dishes and sit in the background and just be Bob. We're gonna see Sentry, and I'm really excited. A lot of people have been excited since seeing Sentry in Thunderbolts to see him among a lot of other really big and powerful Avengers like Thor,
Yeah.
and like people like that. So I maybe Sentry will kind of finally go full Sentry mode maybe in the
Is
back half of the movie, and it'll kind of be a smaller role but have a big impact, you know what I mean?
Dude, is
um
is Doctor Doom the only person on here who might truly be able to defeat Sentry? Because Doctor Doom's
I
got magical powers and shit. Like I don't
yeah,
know, Sentry.
yeah,
He could just void somebody real quick, but obviously he's gonna be fighting for the good. So
right.
that kind of null and voids a lot of people on here. So I don't think he's gonna be voiding Reed Richards or anything like that.
Mm.
But I don't know, man. I'm not a power scale guy. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, let's break this down
Yeah, the
power
only
by
one I
power.
could see is Professor X. Professor X gets up in there in his
It's fair.
mind, maybe can alter a couple things and maybe not even allow him to go full Sentry, not even allow him to go void or anything like that.
Help him kind of control it.
Suppress some of that trauma a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I feel like my conspiracy has a little bit of weight when we look at this bag. I obviously could be wrong, but
No, it is interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a little bit to think about. But yeah, Thor looks incredible.
Peak.
Peak Thor, Infinity War Thor, short hair, and we already know Chris Hemsworth looks amazing because we've seen him out and about while filming Doomsday, and he just looks like the God of Thunder. So
Ready to
so
freaking wield that hammer again.
I'm telling you, listen.
Yeah.
And then we got Sam Wilson, Captain America. You really can't tell too much about his suit in that picture, but I'm sure it's not going to be anything too different
Is
from
that's
what we see in Brave New World.
when does he wear that suit that's like more white on the top? Is it in
That's
uh,
in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
okay. I
I'm
kinda like
pretty
that suit
sure,
opposed
you
to
guys can
this.
correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the suit that people didn't really like because it had more white in it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or maybe people liked it more. I don't really know.
I kinda like
But
it. I mean this one's fine. But I don't know, I
I
kinda
like
like
the
the white.
white.
It felt more different than Steve Rogers.
Exactly. It was a very
So
distinct look for him and it
yeah.
set him apart from Steve, like you said. I really liked the white. I thought it really popped. I love white accents on suits. Obviously, I'm obsessed with the Fantastic Four suits.
Hmm.
So, but not too much to
Yeah.
unpack for Sam
Ant-Man
Wilson
looks like
there.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So not
Always.
really anything to talk about there.
Yep. Paul
Um
Rudd will look the exact same as he does in his first movie
and I
because
ain't
he
hating
doesn't
because
age.
Paul Rudd's hilarious.
He's,
So
he's amazing.
you
The
know,
Fantastic Four look a little bit different though.
they just
Other
look like
than
they're
the
wearing some jackets.
Yeah, they got
But
some jackets on, which is a little interesting. Hopefully, the jackets don't stay on because I'm not gonna lie to you, Johnny's looks really stupid.
I mean,
I'm
you can't really
sorry.
see much of it. It looks like if this picture of Johnny was a little bit bigger, his arms would be crossed.
Yes, yes, I agree. He's kind of, which makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense. That's in character.
yeah. I think
I
they're
just
just
don't know. if
this
I
is
love that. This is
this is
such a
probably
small
their.
picture.
It's always
And I'm like, I don't like that. It looks stupid. I
we're
can barely
grasping
even
at
see
straws
it.
here.
Yeah, and I just hope that the jackets, maybe they're just for the sake of them traveling.
You know what this is? This is what they quickly throw on when they gotta get in the freaking. Well, maybe not Fantastic car, because
Yeah.
I think Doom ends up taking that. But
Well,
whenever
won't be
they're
there.
gonna fly to go follow Doom, so real quickly everybody's throwing a jacket on. Reed's still got his white coat on because he's
Yeah.
in the lab doing something. It's all up here,
Which is
folks. It's all up here.
because I
Theorizing.
was like, I wonder, are they gonna come through in their ship that we saw at the end of Thunderbolts? Are they gonna come through in their astronaut suits? Or are they? There's no way they just come through space just wearing these jackets,
They didn't
right?
have
There's
time for
no
the
way.
astronaut suits.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, no, that's because that would be assuming that everybody on here, this is immediately how we look the first time we see them in the movie, and I feel like it would honestly kind of be weird not to go back to Thor for a second if the first time we see him in this movie, he's immediately Infinity War outfit and cut hair.
Right.
They already made a deal about him cutting his hair the first time
Mm-hmm.
and his appearance. I feel like there's got to be something in this movie
Yeah.
that's like, oh, that's why he was like, I got to get back to being the best version of me or something like that. I don't know.
Hang on. At the end of Love and Thunder, in the post-credit scene, I need to look this up. Hang on. Does he have short hair?
No, I don't know. I didn't watch the movie.
Hang
I will
on.
eventually, just to say I watched it, but I don't recall seeing
I
a
don't
post-credit
recall
scene
either.
or anything.
But I just wanted to make sure. I don't know. But apparently they didn't want to give the Thing a jacket.
They couldn't find one big enough. I don't know. Maybe he's a rock. He doesn't get cold.
He has a giant trench coat that he wears out on the streets. What are you talking
Never
about?
mind.
I can't find the end credit scene with him and his daughter.
So maybe we're
Whatever.
completely wrong, and maybe his hair's already been
No,
cut.
he has long hair. I think he has long hair. I think I just saw it that he has long hair. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I hope we do see a little transformation for Thor. I love a little.
You know, a little
Chris
haircut
Hemsworth
scene, a
transformation
little
scene.
montage.
Yep.
See him
'Cause
training.
He's really nice.
Really nice. You know who else has great hair?
Speaking of really nice,
Buggy Barnes at the top
Buggy
of
Barnes.
row 3 here. He's got that post-credit scene from Thunderbolt's hair. Obviously, at least him and Yelena seem to be rocking their new Avengers outfits.
yeah, basically the exact thing that we saw them wearing at the end of Thunderbolts, which is what we can assume in Doomsday will pick up right where that end credit scene left off in Thunderbolts.
Mhm.
So not too much different with them there. Although Bucky's hair looks like better than ever in that Thunderbolts end credit scene. It looks
He is looking
pristine.
peak. He is looking cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. And
I mean,
then
I
we
guess
have-
Ghost is probably wearing her new Avengers suit too. It's just, but from this picture, it just looks like a black suit. But I'm sure, like,
Yeah, I
the
think she
logo's probably
definitely
on there
is.
somewhere.
Yeah, she definitely is.
So I
And
guess
she
that'll
has her
technically wear
haircut from the end credit scene too, because she cuts her hair
True,
into
true,
like a
true.
bob too. And then we have
True.
Shuri. I don't think there's too much to unpack there. I don't really know.
Neither of us watched Wakanda Forever, so
No.
although we know
I
the
just
character
read about
from
it.
the Black Panther, the first movie with T'Challa in it and stuff, but
Yeah.
her, I don't know too much about what has happened to her other than she has clearly become the Black Panther,
Yes. And then we got Shang-Chi.
which I still
who
didn't watch
looks
either.
like he's just wearing a Shang-Chi outfit. So, and then we have Loki, which I have not seen every season of Loki. I have tried multiple times to watch Loki, and I just cannot get into it. So I'm kind of giving up on it there. But I've seen people that have watched all seasons and feel very strongly about Loki. Point out that this is the Loki that we see taking over to take care of the time stream at the end of Loki season 3.
Mhm.
So it's not like we're going to get a variant Loki in this movie. This is the Loki that we follow throughout the entirety of the Loki
Season
show.
3. I thought there's only been 2 seasons.
Sorry, season 2.
No, that was a genuine question. I didn't.
No, I
wasn't
think you're
like,
right.
You're wrong. I
No,
just,
you're
I
right.
didn't know. 'cause I
You're right.
haven't
There's
watched
only
them.
2 seasons. I don't know why I keep saying that. Season 2, excuse me. I'm so sorry. But that means that they are going to pull him out of taking care of the time stream. So that might become a problem.
I think he's going to be pretty pivotal in this movie, and if not,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
definitely Secret Wars. But he's obviously in this movie, and I mean, he's kind of become a top guy around the
Mhm.
around the MCU. I think he's always kind of been. He's just, not one of the Avengers, obviously.
Right.
But I don't know. I think he's probably going to end up having a big role in this movie. I'm looking forward to him.
Yeah. I think, honestly, as I'm looking at the rest of this list, I don't think there really is anything else to truly unpack other than, like, Gambit and Cyclops. Obviously, Cyclops just looks like you ripped him right out of X-Men 97.
Dude.
It's just, it looks so good. I could not be more excited for that. And the same with Nightcrawler, honestly. It looks like they gave him his classic, like, red with the big collar here and everything.
It looks like he's got gray hair.
He is the older Gambit, I'm pretty sure. And actually, you might be right. And if that's not a reflection, then he might have some gray hair going, because...
Yeah, well, I mean, what's his face? Alan Cummings or whatever that's playing him. I didn't know how old he was. I mean, obviously I knew he was a little bit older, but I saw an interview recently and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty much fully gray, so maybe he didn't dye it for the movie.
So it wouldn't be a surprise. Yeah.
I was unfamiliar. And then obviously Gambit out here looks like he's going to look how he did in Deadpool & Wolverine. But dude, we completely forgot to do a fit check today. What the?
We did. I was gonna say that at the end, and there's Gambit right there. Look at him.
This is the civil regime that I was talking about last week.
Cards. I am wearing a very simple purple comfort color shirt from Jedi Kaylin Embroidery. You can find her on Instagram. It has some Loth Cats on it. It's classic. I love it. Very comfy. Very simple.
Very
and
nice.
That's the fit check.
We forgot.
But other than that,
I don't think
there's too much to unpack.
Mystique's got a nice little bob cut going on, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a different suit on Mystique that we've seen before, I think. So that'll be interesting.
Charles Xavier's looking like Charles Xavier. I kind of wish he had a green jacket, but it's fine.
It's fine. What are you going to do? Beggars can't be choosers. We're getting a lot.
I mean, listen, Cyclops alone is going to be huge. Like, seeing that live action on James Marsden in this movie is like, man, what more can you ask for, dude? Now, I don't know if Hugh Jackman's going to be in this movie as Wolverine, or at the very least, hopefully he's in Secret Wars, but bro, dude, I need Hugh and freaking James in their suits bickering with each other.
They would be so peak to see them together in their comic accurate suits, to see them together on the big screen. The X-Men heart, I can just explode.
The Wolverine suit, the yellow and blue from Deadpool Wolverine, it just pops so much. It looks so good. So you know that the Cyclops one is going to do the same thing. It is just going to pop off your screen. It's going to look fire.
And I'm hoping that Gambit's has a little bit more... Like on your shirt. Can you stand up again? Like on your shirt. You know how Gambit's... It's supposed to be a little bit more pink than it is purple. And if I'm not mistaken, in Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a little bit more purple. Which is obviously a nitpick from someone who's obsessed with Gambit. But I would like to see them go more... If we're going comic accurate with everyone else, we can go a little bit harder on the Gambit costume, I think. So...
Maybe the pink was like, too much. Tone it down. Maybe they had it at pink. I don't know.
No, we hate pink.
Maybe in this case, I don't know. Nobody who's got pink in their suits. Nobody.
Gambit can have pink in his suit. It's more of like
I'm not opposed to it.
It's more of like a magenta, actually.
Well, take it out with the Russos.
Just kidding. I have no idea what magenta actually looks like. I don't know. But what else we got? What else do we got? What else do we got?
You don't want to break down Franklin Richards' outfit, dude? What's he got? A nice white shirt? Is that some overalls he's got on there? That's a lot to talk about.
I can only hope that Franklin Richards is just part of the movie as like a symbol and not like a character that we're going to be unpacking as far as like I don't want to spend Doomsday getting to know Franklin Richards as a person. You know how I feel about kids. They're not my favorite in the whole world, so...
That's hilarious. Do you think if there was more build-up to this movie and all the characters in it had more build-up going into this movie, you wouldn't mind spending some time on Franklin because it wouldn't feel like, hey, we're finally getting maybe a peak Thor, we're finally getting all these X-Men, and so much is happening in one movie, we're going to spend it on Franklin?
Maybe if he wasn't 4 years old... Like, he's 4. If he was, like, 15 and there was he was, like, also trying to figure out who he is as a person, then it would make more sense. He's 4. What insight is he going to give us to
I don't
what
think he's gonna have a lot of lines.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so. I don't think a 4-year-old
Doom's just gonna have him like chained up in the back
sail.
room or something.
No,
I don't know.
that's not what I'm saying.
Well,
That's not what I'm saying. Like I think a great plot point for the second Fantastic Four movie, if it happens, would be Franklin and getting to know Franklin better and stuff like that. But
and Franklin becoming real close with Johnny before
Johnny. Okay. Thanks for that. Yep, I appreciate that. Did you see the bull crap rumor going around that after Doomsday, the Fantastic Four, by the end of Doomsday, Fantastic Four, they're going to be broken up and they're not going to be a team anymore? I'm like, brother,
I did see somebody say that.
They just got here. You think they're going to break up in Doomsday? No, I could be watching
Who wants to see any
back.
of these characters on their own?
No, and I could be watching this back in a year and a half and be like, oh, that poor girl, she had no idea what they were going to do to the Fantastic Four. I had no idea. But they're not going to break up the Fantastic Four in Doomsday. Are you insane?
Listen, the word break, saying that they're going to break them up in Doomsday can be taken multiple ways. That makes it sound like somebody's going to go on their own and be like, I hate you guys. I don't need you.
Like maybe a band breaking up.
Yeah, like maybe they just get separated when something happens and now two of them got to take care of one thing and two of them got to take care of the other.
Or one of them dies because that's just my luck.
That would be something. But hopefully that's not the case. Listen, we talked about this before, so not to dive into a whole thing. Yeah. But like, I need the Fantastic Four together in this movie and Secret Wars and a sequel to their movie, and then after we get 3 more movies with this crew all together, then we can talk about somebody dying.
Oh my gosh. Somebody, yeah.
We've never gotten a proper Fantastic Four. We finally do. We love this crew.
Right.
I don't want to see anybody getting offed in Doomsday. We just got this crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Let us spend some time with them first.
Obviously, I don't want anybody to die either. And they better come back if they do die.
If you had to rank who you think's gonna die,
he's number 1. He's number 1.
If Spider-Man 5 happens, or Fantastic Four 2, and Peter Parker's in, or what? It doesn't matter the movie, but if Peter Parker and Fantastic Four are just in the same movie and they're cross-contaminating a lot, are you gonna be like, man, this sucks because I know where this is going?
No, not necessarily, because if they do go completely comic accurate, he does come back. Like, Johnny Storm does come back. He doesn't actually die. They just think he's dead, and he goes into the negative zone, and then he comes back. I've done a lot of research on this.
Oh, so now she feels better about it.
So, but like, I think you can justify it because getting the Johnny Storm and Spider-Man Peter Parker relationship, interactions and friendship that they have, the brotherly bond, is worth the risk. I think it's worth the risk. It is.
Oh man, I don't know.
Because it's peak storytelling. Having Peter Parker join the Fantastic Four after that, because of how much they love him and how much he and Johnny, how close they were, and then Johnny comes back and it's like, now we can just all be in the Fantastic Four.
You know what's funny too? I feel like I've seen people talking about this week. I don't know if they were necessarily rumors, but people talking about Spider-Man and Doomsday and stuff, and being like, there's going to be so many different teams trying to recruit Spider-Man, and I'm like, if he lands with the Fantastic Four, dude, it's going to be like, shit, you know where they're going. I'll be like, no, sign with the new Avengers, don't take their contract.
Come on.
Oh man, it's gonna be so peak. Brand new day.
Like, I'm not
next
hanging out with any of you guys. The heck?
Dude, Spider-Man. I don't know, dude. All right, quick side tangent. Peter Parker feels like he would kind of fit in with the Thunderbolts. Not necessarily. I mean, he's got the trauma too, but I feel like there'd just be some hilarious banter. Like, their personalities would make for great entertainment, is what I'm trying to say.
I think there'd be hilarious banter, but also like Peter Parker is against everything that they've ever done. Obviously, they're different people now, but I don't think he would ever be able to join them as a team because they'd just be dumping about how many people they've killed, and he's
be like,
just
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, this is too much for me. A little bit too much trauma in the room. I don't know if I can handle all that. So,
if anything, then we got to get Frank Castle hanging out with the new Avengers.
Holy crap. I can't even imagine.
Dude.
He'd just be like, I don't have time for your candy-ass hero shit. He's gonna be like that.
I know we roughly talked about last week, like, what if Punisher and or Daredevil, but let's just specifically talk about Punisher, was in the Avengers movies, dude. Could you imagine Punisher and Bucky back to back,
No.
dude?
No.
No, you couldn't imagine, not even for the sake of the fun hypothetical.
No, I can't. I can't even picture it. It's such a something that just seems so far off and so
Hmm.
impossible to think about because I don't even know if we'll ever get something like that. I would obviously love that. It'd be peak. I think my
That's
mind would
insane, dude.
shoot out of my ears.
I don't
but
think who else could you even put like fantastic, dude. The theories are just
the theories.
the bubbling today.
Should
But,
we move on to the to the Mandalorian and Grogu?
yeah, I was literally just about to say I don't think there's anything else Marvel wise to discuss. But the only other thing to talk about this week was a little bit of Star Wars news. I think it was Monday. They dropped the poster and trailer finally for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which comes out next May 22nd, I believe. There's a new logo for it, which just looks like kind of awesome. Like it just
Straight
looks like
out of
fun.
Indiana Jones, dude. As soon as I saw it, I was like, why does this remind me of Indiana Jones? And then I saw everyone else making the connection, and I was like, okay, I'm not just an idiot making this up. It is in Indiana Jones coded.
Yeah,
so
for sure. The poster
it's
is
a really sick poster, like one of my favorite posters from Star Wars.
for sure. The poster is awesome. I think I posted on Threads. Go follow us on Threads, by the way. That top 5 Star Wars poster, no doubt about it. Just looks awesome. Somebody was like, "Why is Grogu on it 3 times?" I was like, "Cause it's half his movie. That's why."
Because it's the Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay.
Duh. But obviously we both watched the trailer. The trailer honestly didn't give us too much from like a storyline perspective. It just kind of showed us like kind of like a highlight reel, like some fun moments throughout the movie.
Yeah,
but
not
I was
even
already
like
looking forward
any
to it.
dialogue at all whatsoever either, which I like. I don't like, I know I've said this before, I really am always hesitant to watch trailers because they give so much away. But is this teaser trailer did not give away the plot at all. Like, not at all. We don't know why they're going through all these things. We just see a bunch of different giant monsters, which is cool. And we see Zeb, which is a highlight for me. He looks peak. We see him maybe even getting his own little hallway scene, beating up on some stormtroopers. I love him so much.
That like 2-3 seconds in the trailer when you see him hop off the wall or hop on the wall and hop off. No, dude.
I was like,
that was so peak, dude. It looks so
I was
awesome.
dying. I was dying.
Yeah, we got a lot of sick action in this trailer. Like we just talked about, there wasn't really a lot of dialogue outside of like the Babu Frick at the end thing. I don't know if it was Grogu who said it or it was one of the other Babu Frick species.
And he was like, "Nice shot, baby." Yeah.
That was honestly pretty accurate.
Thanks.
Run it back.
He was like, "Good shot, baby."
Why is that so accurate? You've never done that before.
I've never tried it before.
But I'm really looking forward to this movie. I don't know if we've talked about it before when we were talking about our most anticipated movies of 2026, but I was talking about how a lot of people are like, "Oh, this movie's just going to be like a big side mission," and my thing was like, "Well, I really don't care as long as the movie's fun." You know what I mean? So it can be big. There's a freaking fly or something in here, dude, trying to attack me while I'm talking.
I can't even see it. So you're just like going like this and you look insane.
Zeb, give me that staff. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people were saying like, is this just going to be a big side mission? And I was like, I don't care, because as long as the movie's good and better than what we got in season 3, you're not going to hear complaining on me. So like,
yeah, I'm already seeing a lot of people, at least on TikTok, which is a horrible place to be, honestly, making fun of the movie already and making fun of it being called Mandalorian and Grogu and making fun of it as a concept, and people already saying that, oh, the trailer looks terrible. I just don't know how you could possibly think that. I don't understand how you could say that the trailer looks terrible. There was nothing terrible about this trailer, and you should be glad that it didn't give anything away. People are always pissed when trailers give things away, me included, and then this trailer doesn't tell us much of anything about the plot, and people are still pissed about it. It makes no sense. Star Wars fans, I swear, are never happy. And I know everyone talks about this, but it's so much more fun to hang around online in the Marvel community than it is with the Star Wars community, because they are never happy. It's never anything positive going around in the Star Wars community. We're getting a Star Wars movie in theaters for the first time since Rise of Skywalker. Or did something come out after Rise of Skywalker?
Nope.
I think Rogue One came out during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it came out before.
Is it
that
since
came out
Rogue
2016. No, Rogue One came out in
Rogue
2016.
One did?
Last Jedi was 2017.
Okay.
Rise of Skywalker
So,
was 2019. Yeah.
okay. So since Rise of Skywalker, this is the first Star Wars movie on the big screen since Rise of Skywalker, and you're not excited, and you're not like a little bit excited about it, you're already ready to shoot it down. I think that if you don't like The Mandalorian as a show, then okay, I understand why you wouldn't be excited about it.
Yeah.
And I obviously, we've talked about it before, we did not enjoy Mandalorian season 3 in the slightest, but we're still excited for what this movie can be, and what we're gonna get out of one of the coolest characters we have gotten in recent Star Wars history in The Mandalorian, Din Djarin,
Yeah.
and a compelling character and duo like The Mandalorian and Grogu are going to get fleshed out on the big screen with a couple of nods to Rebels and the Clone Wars, and you're not excited about that. It just kind of blows. And I don't want to force people to be excited about it, but it's fine if you're not excited about it, but going as far to be like, this is going to be terrible. What is wrong with you?
There's nothing. They don't give you enough in that trailer to pick apart whether it was going to be good or bad. And obviously, we both think it's going to be good. But just to take my own opinion out of it for a second,
to be good.
Like just looking at this trailer as is, like they just gave you a lot of fun action. It was a teaser. Like they didn't give you any storyline points really. Obviously, you saw Zeb, you saw Rada the Hutt or whatever his name is. Like, but they didn't really give you a lot. We don't even know what this movie's going to be about. So, like you said, if it's one thing, if you're not a fan of the Mandalorian show, which I don't know how you're not a fan of season 1 and season 2, that's shocking to me that anybody wouldn't love at least season 2. Like, come on now. Season 3 was a nosedive for me, and honestly, I'm not even a big fan of how fast Mando and Grogu came back together, and that it happened in Book of Boba Fett, not even Mando's own show. Yeah, there's things that have happened with these characters that I haven't liked, but this is one of those cases where the pros outweigh the cons. This is not like... There hasn't been so much con on top of Mando and Grogu's characters and their stories that I'm like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah,
I can't say that. There's been too many positives.
And just because season 3 was bad and everyone can agree on that doesn't mean we never want to see these characters again. I feel like since we've gotten away from seeing TV shows on cable TV and they have like 20 episodes per season, and they usually TV shows would get like 7 or 8 seasons if they're successful, sometimes 10. Shows have bad seasons. That's why people prefer one season more than another. The Walking Dead has 10 seasons, I think, maybe 11 now, and it has several bad seasons. But no, you don't just like say, no, that was a bad season, I don't ever want to see those characters again.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, no, you can recover from something like that, and you should want them to recover from something like that. A show that I'm thinking of is one of my favorite shows to watch was The 100. This is a huge tangent for, if you don't know The 100, you won't know what I'm talking about. But I thoroughly enjoyed The 100. Toward the back end of the show, it started to get super messy with, I don't know, there might have been cast issues, I have no idea. But there are seasons that are really, really good. And if you're a fan of The 100, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are seasons that are amazing and seasons that are awful. They're just not good. But that doesn't mean that you just give up on the show and you're like, I don't want it to have a chance to be successful anymore. No. I just think that's silly. And I obviously I don't
It's one thing if season 1 Mando sucked and then season 2 came out and it sucked, but that wasn't the case. There was 2 banger seasons and then it fell off after that. Even Mando in Boba Fett, I think is pretty universal.
Was some of my favorite moments of all time with Mando is in
that
Book
show.
of Boba Fett,
which I feel bad
for Boba Fett, but for Mando, those were amazing episodes.
Yeah,
they were.
People joke about it, but it is kind of funny how Mando had the best episode. The Mando episode was the best episode of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But listen, there's been way too much positive with these 2 characters for me not to look forward to it. There was one thing in the trailer that I could I don't even want to say I can understand the complaints, but I really hope in this movie we see a Grogu a notch up. I don't want to just see Grogu being cute for 2.5 hours.
Right.
We've had 3 seasons plus Boba Fett now. Now they're in the screen. Now they're in the movies. I want to see Grogu get a little bit of action in. I don't know.
And
how
it kind of looked
like
in this teaser trailer that Grogu isn't necessarily as helpless as we've seen him in the past. And obviously in season 3 of The Mandalorian, Grogu was pretty far from helpless. I didn't love that he had an IG unit that he sat in and controlled the whole time. But even in the end, Grogu, we've seen his development as less of a helpless child and
Yeah.
more so a trained Mandalorian foundling. Hang on. As a trained Mandalorian foundling. And I think even in just this teaser trailer, I mean, we see Grogu blast that thing in the face at the end. We see him swimming. We see him jump onto Mando's back at one point. I
Yeah.
think he's far from helpless. And we see him like scoping out a target, and like that's the first scene that you see. So Grogu is really becoming more of a independent
Yeah, I want
being.
to see him do something on and like you said, you just pointed out a couple things that show him at least doing more in the
Mm-hmm.
trailer. So I hope Grogu honestly kicks somebody's ass in this movie, whether
Yeah,
it's with the
Grogu,
Force,
go
whether
off.
he has a lightsaber, whether he uses a weapon that Din gave
Mm-hmm.
him, whatever it is. I want to see that in this movie from Grogu. That's the only thing that I'm like, I really need this to happen in
Mm-hmm.
this movie. But besides that, I mean, it could be just a big fun Mando adventure, and I'm all for it. And on top
Yeah.
of that, even if the majority of the movie is just kind of like a side mission episode stretched into one big movie, I still think whatever happens here is going to lead into the grand scale of things, like Ahsoka season 2 and that eventual Dave Filoni movie that I think is still happening. That isn't this movie that's been talked about for the last few years. That
Mm.
his Mando verse error is eventually going to culminate in some kind of movie, not including this. So I don't know. I think we'll probably get something like that. I don't know. I'm pumped for this movie. The trailer
Yeah.
this week was harmless. It was fun. It was exciting. And again, we still don't know much about this movie, but I'm
And
ecstatic for it.
yeah, and it's not to say that we don't have our reservations about the movie. Obviously, we're also a little bit nervous because, like I said before, we both did not enjoy season 3 of The Mandalorian. So obviously, it is going to make us a little bit nervous about the direction of the characters and how this movie can go. But that doesn't mean that we don't ever want to come across, and I don't think anyone that's a Star Wars fan should want to come across as you don't even want it to be successful. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You're not even going to give it a chance. That is never going to be the case, at least for us. So while we can be cautiously optimistic about this as a Star Wars movie,
We
we
will
want it
be
to be
seated
successful.
premiere night.
Yeah, and we will be there. It's going to be a Star Wars movie. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope that it is the most successful Star Wars movie in since the
Yeah.
prequels.
Yeah, I
I
really
really
don't
hope
see a
so.
world where I walk out of that theater like, oh, I didn't enjoy that movie. I really
Hmm.
don't. I like these characters too much. The action, the music, the what's his name is coming back for the score.
Ludwig.
Yeah,
Ludwig is
he's
coming
coming back to
back.
do the score. Like
Which
you
was
know, it's
something
gonna
that
sound
made such
awesome.
a yeah, and Ludwig being absent in season 3 of The Mandalorian made a huge difference. It
Hmm.
really, really did. Like I could tell, and I didn't even know when I was watching it until I looked it up. I was like, why have we not heard Mando's theme as often? Like these episodes just don't feel the same for some reason. And I looked it up, and it's because Ludwig wasn't involved in the season 3 of The Mandalorian, which is a crime.
Yeah.
And he is in this movie. He's the composer. Thank the Lord. So we already have that. We're back. We're back.
Yeah, nothing but positivity coming from us from this movie. You got a problem with
Yeah.
that? Oh well, dude. I don't know what to
Oh
tell you. We got
well.
dogs barking. They got a
I
problem with it,
encourage you to be
obviously.
more positive and yeah, just be a little bit more positive, be a little bit less negative, and maybe you might enjoy some things more.
But yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much all for the Mandalorian and Grogu discussion. However, we're gonna wrap up this episode with a little bit of a blind ranking. It started to become a staple of the episodes. And what's funny is I've had this one blind ranking that's like 1 through 10 different options, whatever, for her for like 4 weeks. But then I keep coming up with a better idea that relates better to the episode. And I'm like, yeah, we'll push that one off. So we're gonna do that again this week. And since
Yep.
we're already talking about Star Wars and Star Wars shows for that matter, I have 5
Oh.
shows here. Some
Okay.
live action, some animated. I'll make sure to
Ah,
write them
crap.
down.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
there's I didn't want to do like every single Star Wars show, so that's why I only did 5, because then it would be a
Mhm.
little bit easier to maybe rank them if every single one was on here. But we're gonna blind rank. She's gonna blind rank 5 Star Wars shows, some live action, some animated. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
1 through 5, by the way, 1 through 5. So
Okay.
let me actually write down 1 through 5 on my
Write that down. Write that down.
piece of paper here. Where should we start? Well, let's just start with this. We were just talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Obviously, this is including all seasons of whatever show. The Mandalorian, 1 through 5.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so scared to put it too low and then you don't have certain shows on there, and then I would cry. But I'm gonna put it at 3.
That's why I only put 5 shows on here, because I'm like, if I do every show, you're gonna
Yeah.
be able to be like, oh, well, I like this one. Like, it's
I'm
too easy to
scared.
rank
Wait,
them.
there's only 5. Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm scared. Should I just wing it? I'll just put it at 3. I'll put it
Put
at
it
3.
at 3. I mean, I think that's fair for
Okay.
what's on here. Quick edit here because we lost connection. But yeah, we'll jump to an animated show, The Bad Batch. I know you're a big Bad Batch girl.
I'm the biggest Bad Batch girl. Yeah, I really am. I really am. And I just rewatched all 3 seasons of The Bad Batch. And honestly, I don't think people really understand how peak this show is. I love it so much. I'm gonna put it at 2.
2. Honestly, I thought there was a small part of me that thought you were gonna put it at 1.
A small part of me wants to put it at 1.
Make your choice.
No.
Now's the only time to change.
No,
You're
it's
sticking
2.
with
It's
2.
2.
You're sticking
Yeah.
at 2. All right. So
Yeah.
so far we got Bad Batch at 2, Mandalorian at 3. 3 spots to go. I like giving these out of order on how I wrote them. We'll jump to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Kenobi show. Had some peak scenes in the show,
It does.
but there was also a lot of it.
There's a lot more bad than good
Yeah.
in that show. And the peak scenes are with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor together. I don't think there's any peak when they're not together. So, 5.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, outside of when those two are sharing a screen together, the show's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Not something that I see myself ever going back and watching. I'll go on YouTube and watch, Obi-Wan and Vader's fight.
Yeah.
And that scene from, I believe it was episode 6. But besides that, yeah, Kenobi at number 5. That's fair assessment. What do I want to give to you next here? Let's go to the other animated show that's on here. We'll go Tales of the Jedi. So not Tales of the Underworld or Sith or anything, just Tales of the Jedi.
No, 4 is fair. 4 is fair.
4 is fair. All right.
No, what did you do? Now you're making me nervous.
No,
I left my one spot.
Part of me wants to completely bait and switch what I have on this list and
No,
give you
that's
something
not
that I
fair.
know you don't like.
Yeah.
But the last one I had on here was Ahsoka.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't put it at 1.
All right,
But,
so technically, so this is how your list turned out. Ahsoka at 1, Bad Batch at 2, Mandalorian at 3, Tales of the Jedi at 4, Kenobi at 5. How would you redo it?
I would put Bad Batch at 1, Mandalorian at 2, Ahsoka at 3, Tales of the Jedi at 4, and leave Obi-Wan at 5.
I thought you not confident on Ahsoka at 1. I thought you were a little bit more high on the show.
I need to rewatch it desperately. I have not watched it since it came out, which I think was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I really, really need to rewatch it. But I don't love Sabine, and that is obviously a problem. If you don't love Sabine, because she's pretty much the main character other than Ahsoka. So,
and pretty big role.
There's a lot that I really, really like about the show, but there's some things that I'm just like, I don't really like that decision. And maybe we can go through that. Maybe we can both do a rewatch and then we can run down Ahsoka in one of these future episodes. I actually think that'd be fun, especially before season 2 comes out.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely do that because I don't want to say something and then I'm like, no, it's fine when I rewatch it.
I know what you mean.
But yeah,
we did discuss doing
fan.
a running down everything Star Wars coming out in 2026 episode and just kind of breaking stuff down. Because there is a good chunk of stuff coming out next year. Obviously, we talked about Mando and Grogu, but there's also Ahsoka. There's the Maul show. There's stuff I'm forgetting in there.
I think Visions season 2 is coming out, but I'm not going to watch it.
No, not for me.
I tried watching season 1 and I was like, nope.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me. I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting, but not here nor there, folks. But anyway, basement yard reference. Anyway.
I was gonna say, neither here nor there, folks. Damn, dude, talk that talk. That's one of my favorite clips ever. I'm sorry, it's such a tangent. If you guys don't know the basement yard, you won't know what we're talking about. But one of my favorite word fumbles of theirs, which they're all hilarious, is literally that clip. He's like, dang, dude, talk that talk.
Dude,
and he's just like,
hear me out. I'm gonna say it on the podcast. Maybe I can manifest it. A couple of years ago, when I was doing strictly toy collecting content on one of my old YouTube channels, I was just collecting multiple things at a time, spending way too much money. Frank from the basement yard had followed me on Instagram, had messaged me on Instagram because he found one of my videos, said he was collecting some stuff, yada yada yada. Like a year later, I got him to come on a toy podcast I was doing at the time, and we got to talk for like an hour about collecting. It was awesome. So I know you're a big. I don't know if you're a big guy, but you're a big nerd overall. You like Marvel, Star Wars, a bunch of other stuff. Transformers, WWE. I'm going to manifest this, Frank. If you would love to come on the Lightforce podcast, we would love to have you. That's all I'm saying,
love to have you. Dude. I can't even tell you. My mom and I have been a fan of Joe Santagato's videos for so long. We used to be sat for every single Mad Lib Madness that Joe did with his brother when he was strictly YouTube only before the basement yard became a thing. So that would just be so peak. That would be so cool.
I'm going to clip this out. I'm going to put it on all social medias, Frank. Come on the Lightforce podcast. Let's talk some nerdy stuff.
Let's get some word fumbles in.
We'll give you some blind rankings. Those could be fun.
That would be so fun, actually.
That would be a peak episode. All right. But anyway, I think that's all we got for this week's episode. So, Laney, where can they find you?
You guys can find me everywhere at Laney Byers. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Threads at Laney Byers. I try to stream as often as possible on Twitch and YouTube. I've been having consistent connection issues. Stream community, this is a little bit of an update for you. I'm just going to have to start streaming during the day. But I can't this weekend because Parker and I are going out of town. So next week, I will do my best to start streaming actively throughout the day instead. But I miss you guys, and I love my stream community. You guys show so much support to this show. So I always take the time to thank you guys because you guys are the best ever.
Yes, they are. And you guys can follow me. Just look on Noah Nation, and you'll find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads, and on YouTube as well. Bunch of different content, bunch of different platforms you'll find me. And of course, as we mentioned at the top of this thing, go follow the Lightforce podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads if you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to listen on the go. Go follow us over on Apple and Spotify. And if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, come over here to YouTube, drop a like, give us a subscribe, and check out some of the other content. There's clips going up every day. So we're trying to be some busy bees. We're trying to grow the podcast. So we definitely appreciate you guys, all the support. It's been a lot of fun. We're 8 episodes in, 8 weeks of the Lightforce podcast.
I can't
already.
Believe it. And we're still going.
And we're still going. Nobody fumbled the bag just yet. But yet. But anyway, that's all we got this week, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. And we will see you next Friday.